Hello everybody, I'm the 40k Renegade and today we're going to be talking about the Hellforge Warpack. It's a formation in Traitors Hate and Traitor Legions, and it's basically one Warp Smith and then 1 to 3 units of Hellbrute, Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend or Defiler. Now we could you could do a number of things with that. However, I'm specifically thinking of one particular strategy because there are certain units in the Chaos Space Marine manual that don't make any sense as standard. So we're going to start with the Defiler. Now the Defiler is a rather expensive beast. It's 195 points, and when you buy the kit, you've basically got a Reaper autocannon on one of the mounts on the arms. And there's no alternative for that. However, if you fire the main battle cannon off, that Reaper autocannon is only snap firing, and the battle cannon is something you will want to shoot off as often as possible. So you can't replace the battle cannon, so you're stuck with it, which means the autocannon is going to be snap firing the whole time. And as you know, if you snap firing, there are certain area effect weapons you can't fire either. So suddenly the Defiler, the default loadout, makes no sense whatsoever. So for this Warp Forge pack, we start out by replacing the autocannon with a power glove or something, a close assault weapon. This gives it 2 power claws or 2 power gloves at the front, what they call power fists. The front claws they are. It gives it what was it called? Power Scourge on one of the arms and another power fist on the other arm. Now, to represent a close assault weapon on the other arm where the Reaper autocannon should be, if you've got yourself a Forge Fiend, the spare parts used for making the Mauler Fiend up, right, could be glued onto the weapon mount to make another close combat weapon. Now, you obviously couldn't fit another Power Scourge to that weapon, it had to be a Power Fist, but you can't really get Power Fists that look right on that arm. So you just glue them bits to it so it looks like a close combat weapon, and then the model looks correct, it looks like you've got 4 close combat weapons, which would give you 3 Power Fists and a Power Scourge. Right? Now, this Defiler has 3 attacks as standard anyway, so if you've got 2 Power Gloves, that's a +1. Now, if I'm not mistaken, third power glove, that would be another +1, right? So that's 2 plus extra attacks, and then you've got your power scourge on top of that. So you've got 5 attacks total from that, and if you're charging that 6 attacks, and you can do 6 attacks as either your power scourges or your heavy bolters, because it makes not heavy bolters. What am I thinking? Is it power scourges or power fists? Which means you can do 3 and 3 if you want, or whatever. So the rules don't really specify that you've got to attack, evenly with one weapon and then other weapons. You can pick and choose from the weapons you've got. So you could do them all with Power Scourge. Now, Power Scourge has the advantage of not being unwieldy, so it attacks first. So if you're attacking infantry, you use that. Trouble is, the initiative on Defiler is only 3, so you're probably going to attack last. So that makes a Power Fist basically what you end up using anyway. So Power Fist would cost 2 times damage, which would basically give you Strength 8, which would be an instant kill for most Space Marines and whatnot. Now, if you equip it that way, so it's like 4 close combat weapons and a battle cannon, the Defiler suddenly makes a lot more sense. The Defiler then can move forward 6 inches, fire its battle cannon, move forward 6 inches, fire its battle cannon, charge in the rest of the way when it's ready to do so. Right, and it also makes it really meaty in close combat. I mean, I've actually had a Defiler completely beast the Space Marine Assault Squad, literally tore it limb from limb. Did a really good job. The attacks and everything it does just absolutely devastating. They get no save whatsoever from it. It's basically it's a contradiction in terms. A Defiler itself, equipped that way, is both a ranged weapon and something you want to get in close combat. Now, I've heard Dave from Mini Wargaming say that most Defilers don't survive the battle. Well, I can understand why, because to be honest, they're a very aggressive unit. You don't hold them back, you charge them in. That's scary. People have got to take them out, because if they get close, they're in trouble. You know, or you're in trouble. So I was thinking, right, the Hellforge pack, now you've got the Defiler set up for a kind of like a ranged close combat attack role, so it's a really aggressive spider basically. What can we do to support it? So anyhow, I was looking at the list, and you've got like Mauler Fiends and Hellbrutes, but we've already paid quite a lot for the you know, for the Defiler, 195 points remember, and plus the upgrade for Power Fist, which is that free? Oh, it's free, 195 points. So if you're paying too much, like for a Mauler Fiend, that's another 120, and that's also got an initiative of 3 with 2 Power Fists. It's quite good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it's still a bit pricey. You could save a few points, you know, if you scrimp and scrape, because remember 10 points C and 10 points there all add up. But you could go for Mauler Fiends if you want a couple of Mauler Fiends in support, but with them being big models, you probably wouldn't be able to get them all on the table in the same spot they'd be getting in each other's way. However, if you're going to field the Hellforge pack, go for a couple of smaller units to support it, like a Hellbrute for example. Take your standard Hellbrute, take off the multi-melter, stick a flamer on it. Right, so anybody that charges them, D3 automatic hits. Right, that's an extra 15 points though. Right, you could get a heavy bolter. Right, might be beneficial for only 5 points. That'd be 110. So you still save a few points over the Mauler Fiend. But if you take a couple of them, you've got your Hellforge pack straight away. You've got Power Glove on one side, 2 attacks, an initiative of 4. Right, and you've also got. And well, you could choose the weapon of your choice really. I'd go for a heavy flamer, since I'd be wanting to use these in close assault. And I'd be mowing down anything that gets in the way first with that. Or a heavy bolter, which is same price as no, it's a bit cheaper. It's 10 points cheaper than a heavy flamer. So you could also replace the Power Fist with another Power Scourge, which basically allows you to attack at your own initiative. So you'd be attacking at the same time. And if you're going to be fielding these with a Defiler with 3 Power Gloves, why not take a Power Scourge for the Hellbrutes? Let them attack first. Let them thin out the heads before your Defiler gets its claws in as well. So you can take them instead for 10 points. Suddenly you get into the same price range as the Defiler. I mean, there's the Mauler Fiend, but you've got yourself a heavy flamer and a Power Scourge as well. You know, so quite deadly. You know, close combat weapon that attacks first with a heavy flamer. You know, anybody charges you, they're in for it. You see, so you've got two Hellbrutes and a Defiler in the Hellforge formation, plus a Warpsmith, because you need the Warpsmith. Now the Warpsmith is pretty good on his own. I mean, people underrate them, but I mean, he gets like initiative for 2 attacks and a +2 save. He's got a BS of 5 and a leadership of 10. Now if he was part of the pack and you kept him close, he could repair any damage, repair anything that happens. He could also assist in close combat, especially if you've given them the master mechanisms, or the mechandrils or whatever they call them. I think it allows you to fire weapons twice or something. I'd have to look it up, but they're actually not bad, you know, from a close combat perspective, with 2 wounds and 2 attacks anyway. Plus they've got a bolt pistol and power axe. Power axe unwieldy though, but you could choose to do an improvised attack with a bolt gun, or bolt pistol should I say, which would give you 2 attacks at his own initiative instead of striking last at his own strength. or you could use the power axe, which is +1 basically. So you're only attacking on a 5 strength with that. It's hardly worth waiting to last, is it, for a +5 strength? But anyway, it says the Watersmith also adds to the combat effectiveness, and it can repair the damage as well. So you've got yourself there a little pack, right? Which would be let's add it up actually. If we did it the way I suggested, 500 points seems to be the about average, cost of under 500 points, average cost of most formations that are worth taking. So we'll work that as a guide. Hellbrute, right? Heavy flamer or heavy bolter. Heavy bolters are cheaper. Give you a bit of range firepower as well, where flamers would give you a bit of defense when they charge you. So I'd go flamers since we were trying to get into close combat with them. So that makes it 120 points. Take a power scourge, that's 130 points, 135 points. In fact, since this power scourge is the main thing, maybe we'll take heavy bolter after all. So that's 15 points on top of the price. So that is 120 points. So heavy bolter and power scourge. Right, 2 of them, 240 points. Right, 340, 300 it's about 400, well, it's just under 435 I think it is for the Defiler. Where is it? I'm trying to find it and talk at the same time. Anyway, just say about 435 points, something like that, right? It's still under the 500 point mark, so it's a quarter of your points. Here it is, Defiler, finally, under 95 with the battle cannon. So basically what you've got there then, if you take it with the heavy bolters, you can charge in at range, bang bang bang, 3 shots from one one Hellbrute, 3 shots from another. It gives you something to snap fire back with as well, remember. You can attack on your own initiative with the power scourges on all 3 models, including the Defiler, or you can leave the Defiler back and attack, with the power gloves, or mix and match. It's up to you. It says then you've got the Warpsmith, who's also quite good in combat himself. Not brilliant, don't get me wrong. If you're just taking him for close combat, you'd take other models. But as part of the pack, and on top of that, you get you can use the Demon Forge special rule twice. Well, for a second and subsequent time in the game. Actually, that sounds like you can use it every turn. Yeah. Hellforge models also use the Demon Forge rule during the game, can choose to do so for a second and or subsequent time. So basically, once a turn, isn't it? You've got the Alpha pack, which is basically you nominate one as the Alpha, which would probably be the Defiler, and it gets a +4 invulnerable save. And if the pack dies or is destroyed, the Alpha dies or destroyed, all of the models in the pack gain the Rage special rule. But if I'm not mistaken, not Defilers, Hellbrutes, they basically, get rather angry if you shoot at them. Which is why I like them actually, they're quite fun that way. Crazed. This is the thing, you see, there's that many special rules. I was actually playing Adaptus Mechanicus just the other day, and I got completely lost on the special rules. I was running around in circles. I mean, why can't they just say, have all the rules listed with the unit so you don't have to go flicking through 3 different manuals? I hope, if they're doing an end times thing, I hope they just see all these special rules and just throw them straight in the bin and just change all the core unit info. I don't think they will, but I'm hoping they do. Typical, innit? I'll look in the main rules for Crazed and it's actually in the Chaos book. Just now look. What's this? Crazed will point me straight back at the main rules for 2 different things. I think it's Raged and... let's have a look. Oh no, it's a Frenzy. It's a D3 result. Yeah. Fire Frenzy, Rising Fury and Blood Rage. Yeah. So it's Hellbrutes have the following special rules. Fire Frenzy, immobilised this turn, it says if unengaged it must fire all its weapons twice. Rising Fury recovers from stun crude and stun chair shaken. Has the Rage special rule, so I've got to go to the main rulebook for that one. Blood Rage recovers from crew stunned or shaken. Has the Fleet and Rage special rule again. So I've just had to go from the Hellbrute rules onto page 105 of the Space Marine manual, only to be told to go to the main rulebook. This is what's wrong with 40k. This is what slows the game down, especially when you're first learning. It's bouncing about all over the place for stupid special rules where they could have listed all of that lot on the model page. They could have put that on the actual Hellbrute page and had it done with. It's like the objectives, isn't it? You get the objective markers and you get, like, I think it's 11 to 16 special objectives for various armies. Why don't they just list it all on the manuals, the Codex manuals, so all the objectives for that unit are listed in one page, so you don't have to use 2 books when you're looking up objectives? Makes no sense to me. Anyway, the Hellforge pack, right, or Warp pack. When you do it like that, you end up with a situation where the Hellbrutes become mini defilers. And the defilers, used for charging in, guns blazing, then ripping things apart. Plus, because the Hellbrutes are up front, they'll be the bullet magnets. They'd soak up the damage, so your your defiler can get in and actually do a bit of damage. You just have to remember, right, that because the defiler is bigger, you should be able to shoot over the top of a Hellbrute. But if you can't, you move them apart and leave a gap. Otherwise, you'd be shooting your own men in the back. Because remember, they're not part of the same unit. It might be part of the same detachment, but they're not part of the same unit, so they don't have to stay in formation. However, you keep them together, charge them in together, and you can just punch a hole straight through anybody's front line. Although most games these days seem to involve some massively over-expensive unit, and then a lot of tiny little squads, so there is no front line. You can walk through it with leisure, so... But if you're playing the game as I play it, you'd have a lot of infantry, and you will have a front line, and that will punch through it. But if you're playing it like a lot of people do online when they're making these videos, maybe not. You probably have a stomper for 800 points and wonder why you lose. Anyway, we're going to be talking about orcs and stuff in a future video, because I actually have an orc army as well, and we'll cover that and points cost and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. If you want something to say about this, Warpforge pack, a Hellforge thing, you let us know. Post it below. Tell us what you think. There are other configurations, obviously, that you could take. You could do them as a ranged attack option, for instance. It's possible. It depends on how you're going to use them, but Hellbrutes strike me as like mini defilers, and defilers strike me as something that needs to be in close, tearing heads off of things. So from that perspective, if I wanted a ranged attack on most boards, which is 6x4, I'd go for Vindicators instead. They might not have more than, say, 24-inch range, but they do on most boards. If you're deploying on the first foot of the board, you basically got 2 foot before you actually hit the opponent's deployment zone, so you move 6 inches forward, you're in range, unless you're doing lengthwise, in which case it's out of range for quite a while, obviously. Right, we'll leave it there and I'll chat to you later.